You dig it, you sucker.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world heavyweight champ, two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me as always. We getting ready to roll. Brad, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I'm just wondering if I hear a little static going on in the background, like somebody's taking a shower or something. But I guess you'll fix that on your end. But how you doing, man? How you feel?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Book. I'm doing good, Book. Coming fresh off from a couple of 6-7 day vacation. It was nice to get away for a little bit.
How was the vacation, man? How was it?
It was nice. Look, here's the thing. I'll be honest with you, and I don't mean any disrespect to anybody out there, but California, beautiful. Loved it, right? Beautiful weather.
Yeah.
It was 73 degrees, sunny.
Beautiful team,
as you said. And then I always wanted to go to Seattle. I'd never been to Seattle. I said, Seattle, Washington sounds like a cool place. Seems like green. You know what I mean? Like you've been to Oregon and Portland, that area. You've been all over the world. I don't even have to ask you. If you've been somewhere. Of course you've been there. And it's a beautiful place. Like Portland, Oregon's gorgeous, and there's a lot of these trees. It's great food. I said, Washington's right next door. It should probably be around the same. And I'll be honest with you. Seattle's not where it's at for me. Like, I didn't love it. You know what I mean? I didn't love Seattle. It's kind of like, the difference between Portland and Seattle is kind of like Houston and Dallas.
Yeah.
Like, Dallas is kind of like Houston, but it's not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No,
it's not.
This country is hell in Dallas.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I see a few people in the chat saying it sounds like little sounds going on in the background or something like that. We'll fix that, guys. We'll fix that throughout the show. But we've been having a few technical difficulties in the H today, and I think it's because we are around 103-degree temperature outside.
I think that's what's going on.
And it's affecting everything. Look at me. I'm in an air-conditioned area, and I'm sweating. I got a little sheen going on right now. But no, man, I totally know how you feel as far as going from one place like California going to come on, man. Come on. You didn't think that was going to be anything remotely alike. At least you should have. Anyway, other than the sun coming out in the day and it going down at night. That's about the only same thing you're gonna get out of those two cities right there. Both of them legal though, right? Both of them.
As far as recreational,
yeah,
marijuana, I believe there. I think I read somewhere like 44% of the country or something like that has some sort of marijuana legality in the state. So I think Oregon, Washington, California, Nevada, everyone on that West Coast.
You had a lot of people, you had a lot of things in common, so it was good. How long you stay there? How long were you there?
We were in Seattle for like 3 days. And I gotta be honest with you, by day number 3, I was ready to get home. I was ready to come back. There's only so much fish and chips you can have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to head out in the morning. I'm going to LA tomorrow for a little party. Be there for a nice little exclusive party. A lot of, big time players, man. I'm talking about ballers gonna be at the party. Common is actually gonna be hosting the party, and I just heard a few big league basketball players. From the hood we say basketball. Big league basketball players gonna be there as well. You know what I mean? Talking about it's cryptocurrency, man. It's getting big. It's literally taking the world by storm. And I said, man, let me see exactly what's the goings on of the goings on, so I can get my foot in the door early. You know what I mean? So definitely, I'm looking forward to heading to LA and having some fun and kicking it, man, on Sunset. Get a little bit of katana and have a good time.
I can't figure out cryptocurrency. You know what I mean? I don't really even know. I know what it is, but I don't know what it is.
You know what? Just the only thing I need to know with cryptocurrency.
What's that?
Can you buy a car with it?
I think you can buy a Tesla.
That's all I need. Get me a couple of them in the fleet. Can you buy a sandwich with it? Is it a card come with it? You know what I mean? Like a debit card or something like that. I got the questions.
You got the question.
I
You
just
know,
need to know the answers.
I think, was it Argentina or Barcelona? One of those Latin American countries. I'm not sure which one, so I don't want to misspeak. But they just accepted it nationwide as legal tender in their country. Like you spend crypto the same that you spend a dollar bill over there.
Hey, bro, a lot of people didn't sleep on something like that, but a lot of people slept on, like the computer and the iPhone, all that stuff getting in on the ground floor. Like I said, I remember I had a chance to get in on this clothing company, and they had a logo that looked like me, and called Urban Golf Gear. I'm giving them a shout. I don't know if they're still in business right now or anything like that. And it's like, what do you want? I say, well, give me X amount, and I'm in. We can give you some stock. And I was like, nah, man, I don't deal in stock. And I don't, like I said, I don't know if they're still around, but if they are still around and making money, I missed out on a whole lot. You know what I mean? So with this cryptocurrency thing, I'm like, let's see exactly where it's going, because I want to be on the ground floor, even though I know right now it's already working out there. If you can, actually, like you just said, in whatever country you just said that was, Barcelona,
Yeah.
Spain.
I think it was somewhere in that area.
Yeah, you can spend it here. Yeah. Let me get in on it and see exactly where this ship is going, man, because you never know. It could be the Love Boat.
Okay. I had to think about that for a second.
Ship.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, it took me a second to understand exactly where you were going with that.
I got all kind of references, man.
I know you got to stay on your toes with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where you're coming.
The thing is, I just make them up on the fly.
Kevin Hart told this story, like, I don't know when this was, maybe a year ago or something like that. I remember hearing it. He said, he was taking investment meetings because he was like, I have money now. I need to make sure that I have money forever. Let me take some investment meetings. Here's some ideas. Maybe I get on the ground floor of the next great idea. And he said this guy came to him and they pitched this idea they had where you have an app where you can request for somebody in the area to give you a ride somewhere else. They're like kind of like a taxi, but it's somebody else's car you're getting into. And Kevin Hart said nobody wants to get in somebody else's dirty ass car with somebody they don't even know. Who knows if they're a good driver or not? He goes, that sounds crazy. They wanted like $15,000 from him or $50,000 from him. He said, hell no, get the hell out of here. And it ended up obviously being Uber. And he really swung and missed that one. So I guess don't leave a stone unturned. If you have the money to risk, it's worth the risk. Kind of like at the beginning of the year, the Phoenix Suns were plus 6,500 to win the title. Plus 6,500. That sounds like a good bet now. I wish I would have put money back on them then.
I tell you, man, the way those boys are playing right now, and I'm gonna tell you, like, when you got somebody on your team, what's the name, Booker, you hit it bad. You better watch out for him. And that boy right there, man, he's a killer, man. He's deadly. But yeah, man, get in on the ground floor, see where this thing goes, and hopefully, like I said, I had some fun getting a little woman out, taking her to LA. Like I say, get a chance to go to Katana. Get some good Japanese food, some of that shrimp I like over there as well, so as well as the little steak and I got this little dish where it's like steak cut very, very thin, and it comes in this little skillet, and it's still fried when it gets to your table. And they sit it down and it's still making that sound, and you can't wait to dig in, man. So I'm looking forward to getting to LA, man, and getting to Katana. If you guys never been to Katana, you ever frequenting the spot of LA, right there on Sunset Boulevard, you can't miss it. Nice little spot where all the stars hang out as well. You might run into Jamie Foxx, Kevin. Last time I was at Katana, I ran into Kevin Hart. Yeah, it was late at night. Kevin was over there with his lady. I'm over here with mine. And, he glanced over and wanted an autograph and all that. But it was cool. I'm just playing. But guys, we got a whole lot to talk about coming off huge weekend, UFC 263, as well as we got a special guest going to be on the show. Jamal Charlo, super middleweight kingpin, getting ready to step into the ring. H-Town is going to be good. Toyota Center is going to be buzzing. It's going to be on like a Stephen Potter neck bones. Guys, stick around. You're inside the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
This is Booker T World Gym Arena in Texas City, the home to the Reality of Wrestling Training Center. It's a 20,000 square foot facility with more than 50 full-time students and wrestlers from around the world. Inside the World Gym Arena sits a 9,000 square foot venue set up for weekly shows.
From up top, 1-2 moonsault.
Where our students showcase their skills in front of a live audience.
What he's done here is awesome. He's created opportunity, and he's creating great talent, as you guys well know.
In the back, a full weight room.
6 up.
Complete with state-of-the-art equipment and personal trainers.
There you go. 2 more.
A full staff and office personnel.
One more.
Running the day-to-day operation. We have interview sets for TV production, promo classes, quarterly combines. We evaluate progression and team building. Referees, commentators, ring announcers, and live television production. At the World Gym Arena, we don't just teach you how to become a professional wrestler, but an elite sports entertainer. This is Reality of Wrestling.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Man, I still hear that sound, man. I don't know what's going on with that sound, man, but it sounds like somebody's washing their dishes. You know what I mean?
See, I don't hear it at all. So
No,
I don't hear it at all.
Well, if any of our people out there, guys, if y'all hear it, let Brad know we got some technical difficulties. He's the tech guy. I'm not.
We'll clean it up.
If you got some problem with somebody, you deal with Brad. You know, send him the angry messages on Twitter.
I appreciate that
on the internet. Not me, okay? But let's keep it rolling, man. I see a lot of people excited about Jamal Charlo, man. A brother that's just, you know, I'm gonna tell you right now. I didn't talk about it because it's something that I want to talk about more than anything. The cloak of invincibility. There it is. Can you hear me, Brad?
I can hear you.
Oh, I thought you fixed it. I wanted to talk to him about 31-0, of course, that cloak of invincibility. What's that all about? How does that feel to actually, you know, go through something like that? Knowing you're going into a fight, knowing that old can't go. That's something that I'm sure fighters always deal with when they're undefeated. I was just looking at this weekend on Bellator, Douglas Lima was fighting this kid. I think he was from Croatia. I'm not sure. First time I saw him. But the kid was undefeated, taking on the champion. All the money was heavily laid on Douglas Lima. And that kid went out there and schooled Lima for 5 rounds and unseated him as Bellator champion. So that right there, that cloak of invincibility, what is it like going into the ring with that? So definitely, guys, that's an interview that you do not want to miss out on. You don't want to get shut out on. It's definitely going to be something to listen to.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to Jamal Charlo. You know, H-Town, representative sport of boxing, has been on fire. There was actually a boxing card over the weekend. I don't know if you saw it. Did you hear about Team TikTok versus Team YouTube?
No, I did not.
It was. I mean, Bruce Buffer was in the building.
Wait a minute.
Not Bruce Buffer, Michael Buffer.
What was this located? What was this hell?
This was I don't know where it must have been in California or someplace like that. But it was trending on Twitter, and I don't know anything about TikTok. But my fiance Farah does, and she was like, "Hey, do you know that Austin Hall is fighting this weekend?" And I said, "Who the hell is Austin Hall?" She says he's a big TikToker. I'm like, okay, so what is he? He's doing a charity boxing match? No, it's a legit team TikTok versus team YouTube. Book. They had the whole stadium wherever they were. I'll find out in a second. The whole stadium was sold out. Michael Buffer was there. Charlemagne was the host of the whole show. It was crazy. I never seen anything like it before.
And it was box team TikTok versus who?
Team YouTube.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, the combination right there, they got enough money to pay somebody like Michael Buffer to come in and host this thing. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's nuts. It's nuts. What's going on right now with the fight game and the entertainment world is unbelievable. I never thought I'd see anything like this. And a lot of these people I don't even know. It's just like
it was in Miami, apparently. Miami.
Like a Doja Cat. You know what I mean? I really don't know who Doja Cat is. All right, but I got to literally start doing my research and studying because I was just messing around a few days ago, and my twins Kendrick and Kennedy, they was in the living room, and I said, hey guys, do y'all know who Doja Cat is? And they go, yeah. And I'm like, you know who Doja Cat is, right? I say, okay, what tell me about Doja Cat? And they said that well, Doja Cat, she does music, but she's a little bit more vulgar than no, wait a minute. No, I'm serious. This is what my 10-year-old girl is telling me. But she's a little bit more vulgar than who's the hot
Megan Thee Stallion?
Megan Thee Stallion or somebody like that.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, what the hell is going on? I need to start doing my research. You know, my kids and my son was like, yeah, you know, like it was no big deal. Like he's been watching, you know, Doja Cat. And the thing is, I don't know, you know, like I said, I really don't know who Doja Cat is. But if you ask me, what does Doja Cat means? Okay. What is your terminology of Doja Cat?
You know, I haven't put too much thought into it of what Doja means something, right? Isn't that that's a colloquialism for a certain type of a flower, right?
You know, I guess.
And then cat.
But the way I see it is, you know, Doja Cat. As soon as you get a taste of this, you go right to sleep.
You know what? That very well may be what it means.
I bet you any kind of money.
Let me look.
That's what Doja Cat means.
But Doja Cat's pretty dope. She's good.
I wonder what Doja Cat means. If I'm right, what the hell is going on, man? You looking it up?
I'm looking it up right now. So.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you right now. I bet you that's what it is, man.
Let's see. Doja Cat's real name is Amala Zandil Dlemlani. She chose the stage name Doja Cat because of her love of marijuana and cats. So there you go.
Well, I guess you go doze off from the marijuana. She love the cats, but I like mine better. You know what I mean?
I think yours makes more sense.
I like
and if you hear her music, it does make more sense too. She is a little bit of the vulgar side of things, but you know what I mean.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. So I didn't know, man. I didn't know. So I wasn't trying to, you know, get nobody upset or anything. But maybe she should switch it up, you know. And boom, once you get a taste, man, you go right to sleep. Let's see, we got a super chat, man. Go ahead and take care of that, dog.
RDAB with the $2. Who took Booker T's O in WCW and who took it in WWE?
I never had a O. I never had a O.
Like an undefeated O?
I never had an undefeated. I never was undefeated.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Throughout my whole wrestling career, I've never been undefeated. I've always been a guy that, you know.
Well, most people lose their first match ever, right? Don't you always lose your first match?
Not really. Goldberg didn't.
Well, except Goldberg. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
there's a few,
so
I guess.
you guys, Andre the Giant, I'm sure won his first match.
Yeah, I think those are more outliers, though.
Ahmed Johnson.
Well, man, Big Show, Big Show won the world title in his debut, didn't he?
Exactly my point.
What was it? Do you remember that? Do you remember Big Show coming in and winning the world title? Were you there? You were there.
Well, is that when he was
The Giant?
Andre the Giant's son?
Yeah.
The son of the Giant. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Hogan put him over, right?
Yeah, yeah. What was the reaction to like some guy coming in and literally getting the world title in his first match ever?
Hey, bro, I never gave it any thought or anything like that. As far as Big Show winning the world championship, I never put a whole lot of thought into it. He was a big guy. He was marketable. If I was the promoter, I probably would have, did the same thing. Maybe you never know. But no, I had no ill will, no hate towards Big Show becoming the world heavyweight champion in his first match. I don't know if a lot of the other guys did, but if they did, no one said anything about it.
They kept to themselves, I guess, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
So I wanted to share this real quick on this team YouTube thing. So I looked it up. It was in Miami, right? Miami, YouTube versus TikTok. Austin McBroom knocked out Bryce Hall. I know this is crazy for everybody.
What's crazy is all of these names you're espousing off. My kids probably know who they are.
Oh, they probably know exactly who they are. And Austin McBroom and Bryce Hall were the main event. They had $1 million bet if either one of them knocked the other one out. That was $1 million on top of whatever they were paid for the event themselves. Apparently, it did phenomenal on pay-per-view. And Hall, who was the loser, got paid $5 million for the fight. And McBroom's purse, I don't think, was disclosed. So they're making money. Look, I'm sure we're going to ask Jamal Charlo about what he feels about all this, but between the Paul brothers, Logan Paul did a legit Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather, 1 million buys. Team TikTok versus Team YouTube now doing however many buys, but getting paid millions of dollars. Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley up next. It's a crazy world out there in boxing.
Landscape has changed, man, and that's something we're definitely going to talk about. But I really feel like things are going to only get even more, let's just say, whack as we move forward in the fight game. Because at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to be about. I always used to say checks and championships. I think it's going to be about the check more than the championship.
I agree.
At the end of the day, and if you're smart, that's the way you should be thinking. Guys, you're in the Hall of Fame. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
And that's a stunning elbow to the face. Oh, and look at this. She just raking Angela's face across the middle. Oh, my goodness. That's hard to watch. Oh, man, what does she think? Oh, no. Top rope suplex. Superplex from the champion. If enough damage hasn't been done already to Angela, that has got to be the exclamation point. She's looking for the 450. Oh! From the top rope. She's calling for shooting star press. Star press. Shooting star press cover. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Oh man, I tell you, talking about the how lucrative the business has gotten without the traditional way of going about doing it. It really is amazing to see how much money the Paul brothers draw in as far as revenue go from YouTube. And it's a lot of platforms come out and they say, "Oh, we can do this for you, and we can do that for you." Man, you'll make more here than you're gonna make with YouTube. But I'm gonna tell you, if your numbers are right, and there's some ad revenue being produced, on a continuous basis, and you got that kind of backers behind you, that many followers. That's a lot of money to be made on YouTube. When you see these guys like the Paul brothers flying around in their own jet, you go, man, how do I do this? How do I get this? And these guys have been very, very creative on YouTube to get, to mass 64 million.
It's crazy.
That right there, that's a number right there that's presidential, man. So these guys definitely have figured it out. And if you're smart, you will be trying to follow the blueprint and figure out how do I get a piece of this action, some of this champagne, some of this caviar dreams. That's what you will be doing. And for me, reality wrestling, I'm definitely trying to push it as far as I possibly can and create something that no one else can create. The youngest professional wrestling roster that's out there right now. The best you're gonna find on the Gulf Coast, perhaps on the independent scene, giving young people something to look at, to aspire to be, because it's only young. I got to be a part of that. Click and subscribe. Reality and Wrestling / YouTube. That's what we're talking about, man. And get yourself out there, man, because today it's definitely out there to be had.
Hey, absolutely. You got to get in where you fit in, and I'm sure we'll be talking about all these things going forward. And I'd like to know what Jamal Charlo thinks about that. Again, Jamal Charlo is fighting undefeated WBC middleweight champion this weekend, Juneteenth Day celebration here in H-Town, hometown. That's this Saturday, June 19th at Toyota Center. It's live on Showtime beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can get tickets right now at toyotacenter.com. But I'd like to know what he thinks about all this stuff, and I'm sure we'll talk to him a little bit more about that when we have him on the show. It was a great weekend of fights. Now, the TikTok versus YouTube on Saturday night, those weren't the only fights that I watched. You know what I mean? There was another card on that I thought was a little bit better, and a little bit more promoted, and it had another Buffer brother in the center of the octagon this time.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I watched.
You watched that one?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I thought you were Team TikTok.
The TikTok deal. What was how could you get it? What was it on?
You know what? So I saw it on YouTube.
The Zone, maybe.
It may have been on DAZN. I happened to turn on YouTube and it was there. I don't know if that was.
Well, hey,
I don't know.
It is. Yeah.
I don't know if it was free or not, but it was on YouTube and I clicked on the thing and it said live and I was watching it. It had a lot of money behind it though. It had a great production. I mean, they had this huge stage built, music artists walking everybody out. It was very akin to the Triller Fight Club thing. Like I said, Charlemagne was there hosting the event.
It was a party. In other words, it was a party.
It was a party. There was liquor flowing, I'm sure.
That's the thing, man. That's gonna be the new thing, man. It's like, you don't smoke cigars or anything like that, but
no.
I like smoking cigars. And man, they got some of the coolest cigar bars here in the city and around the world. When you go in, man, you just want to chill. You just want to be, have that vibe. I don't know if you notice, NBA right now. Behind the basketball court, they got the sofas, they got the TVs, they got everything, they got the drinks flowing. It's like a party scene right there, so everything is, I think, is going to be more geared to getting people out and having some fun. A guy by the name of Jim Browning used to promote fights here in the city of Houston, down at the hotel near the Astrodome back in the day. And the atmosphere, man, to go in there, smoke a cigar. You got all the fly honeys, walking around, looking real good. The atmosphere of, the nature of the beast, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat in the fight. That right there for me, it made me just wanted to be a part of what was going on. More than anything, I didn't care who won. If I saw a knockout, just like Jake the Snake, give me the DDT, baby, and we can wrap this thing up and go home. But like we were talking about a second ago, it was some more fights. UFC 263 went down this weekend. Israel Adesanya versus Marvin Vettori for the main event. Co-main event, Davidson Figueroa versus Brandon Moreno, and as well as throw that kid in there, Leon Edwards versus Nate Dogg Diaz. And it was a fight. It was a fight. It was a dog fight. And for me, man, I just sat back and enjoyed the festivities. For me, combat, the sofa. I've been drinking that. I ain't trying to give it no plug or anything, but I've been drinking that twisted tea lately,
Okay.
man.
That's your thing now.
Maybe 5% liquor, alcohol.
Only 5.
You know what I mean? I don't want to get drunk and then, but just to have a nice little tipsy, have a little buzz is all good. And to sit back and watch some good fighting, some good action. Let's start it off, man, with the welterweights. Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz. That fight right there, it will be described as, what a night, what a fight. That's the way you would describe that fight right there. It was a war, in certain aspects. It was a lot of concussions went off in the building as far as that fight. A lot of fireworks, man, as far as that fight go. Leon Edwards looked great for every minute of that fight except the last minute. The last 60 seconds was something to be seen, man. Nate Diaz, bruised, battered, torn. Any other man, I think, would have told his corner, hey, man, let's just pack it in tonight. The blood, the crimson mass, but this guy willing to fight through that, man. It tells me a whole lot about him. It tells me that it's not just about the money.
Right.
When you watch a guy like Nate Diaz go out there and fight like that, it's not just about the dollars, because no matter what, if he would have threw in the towel, he still would have got paid. But he still, I would say, yeah, a puncher's chance to win this fight. Not giving up on himself. That right there said a whole lot about Nate Diaz. Spoke volume. It spoke more than I ever would have known about Nate Diaz sticking in that fight. I give that man nothing but props. From this day forward, you'll never hear me say anything negative about Nate Diaz, other than the brother, might want to think about his future, because taking shots like he took over and over and over definitely is not something that's going to, be, good for him, just say in the future. It's not. I don't know. It was a great fight. Should they run it back because of what happened in the last minute of that fight? A lot of people say Nate Diaz, he could have won that fight, perhaps. What do you think?
I mean, if the fight went on for another 30 seconds to, another 4 minutes, or if there was another round, maybe he would have. But, that's not how we really do things in the fight game, right? I mean, just because someone looks good for a 30-second to a minute period doesn't really mean that they've necessarily warranted a rematch. I couldn't figure out, and did they say it on the broadcast and I missed it? Why was this a 5-round fight?
No, they didn't say why it was a 5-round fight. And that's the thing.
It wasn't for a title. It wasn't the main event. It wasn't a number one contender.
I think UFC. I think they put those guys in the fight to whereas, well, this is like a number one contenders fight. So that being said, let's make it a 5-round fight instead of a 3-round fight. Now, I don't know. Maybe someone said, hey, we'll give you guys extra, whatever. If you guys want to do 5 rounds. If both guys agree on that, I have no problem with that. But it definitely clouds the championship fight, and for no one to explain why these guys are doing this, and they're not I could see if it was the main event and neither guy had a championship. I can see that.
Yeah.
It's the main event.
It's a main event. It should be a 5-round fight.
It should be a 5-rounder. But for these guys, I don't know. I don't
They
know.
weren't even the co-main.
No, that's
were-
what I'm saying. Like I said, maybe it was negotiated. Maybe both guys made a little bit of extra scratch in the pocket. And for me, if that's the case, hey, I'm all for it. If that's the case. But the UFC, man, we've watched it for some time now. And how many of these guys have said, yeah, I'll do the favor, pull the Don Cerrone, you know what I mean, and go out there and put their careers in jeopardy. It's definitely something that needs to be talked about. Why was it a 5-round fight? We'll find out sooner or later. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer, and this is for all up-and-coming professional wrestlers, male and female. You want to know the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts. You got a question, I got the answer. If you want to know how, join my masterclass. Go to realityofwrestling.com for all the information. Starting on Thursday and every Thursday after that, guys. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. And I know you can dig that.
The Academy.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Talking UFC 263 went down this weekend, and man, what a night! What a fight! Leon Edwards, Nate Diaz. Leon Edwards wins by unanimous decision, as well as it should have been. What does Nate Diaz go from here? I think that's going to be the question.
I don't know.
He
is. I will say this: he's one of those few guys. I don't mean to interrupt, but he's one of those few guys to where it doesn't matter if he loses in the fans' eyes. People will always want to see him fight, right?
Well, I think, of course, the people still, no matter what happened in this fight, they're going to want to see the trilogy with him and Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
That fight right there is definitely a fight that's on the table for him. If nothing else, to walk away from the game, having that fight with the Conor McGregor, he's going to make he's going to make some money in that fight. Which, hey, if you're going to go out, that's the way you definitely want to go out, with some monies in your pockets, maybe. But yeah, I question what's next for Nate Diaz, because there's not a whole lot left on the table for Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz will I don't know if he'll be working himself in the title picture or anything like that, as far as his career going from this point. Me personally, I don't think so.
No.
Not getting past Leon Edwards. That right there says, hey, the elite fighters are, passing you by, as well as all the scar tissue, all the wars. I think that's what he's going to be fighting. His toughest fights is against himself, not going out there and, somebody catch him with an elbow and split him open. Getting plastic surgery to try to fix this and, for it not to happen. That's going to be his biggest fight if he want to do that, going forward. But God bless the brother, man. He's a warrior. He's a pit bull as far as inside the octagon goes, and to his future endeavors. Hey, bro, good luck. As far as the co-main event, the flyweight championship, Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. Rematch. This is another match that was a rematch off the last 5-round extravaganza these two had. And these little guys, man, they definitely bring the pain when it comes to fighting. And Davison Figueiredo, he's a guy that he looked even more unstoppable than Mighty Mouse did. He really did.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy looked like he was going to be champion for years to come. But Brandon Moreno is a kid. Man, that Mexican man, he don't mind going out and getting into a scrap. That's what I like about Moreno. As well as He's very, very technical. But guys, we got to take a break. I don't know what I'm thinking about. We got to take a quick break. We'll be back in a minute. You're in the Hall of Fame.
Can you dig it, you sucker?
You know how WWE is, man. You're on the road, you're on the road. Like,
Yeah.
you're working your ass off, right? So I happened to have a Sunday off, and I was sitting at home, and I had literally an ice bag on both knees, and then my bell on my gate, bell just started going off, dee 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 dee, over and over and over, right? And I'm like, what the hell? What the God? So I jumped up, the ice bags flew everywhere, right? And I go out, open my door, I go, who is it? And they go, it's Booker T here. I said, oh, hell. So I walked to the door and I said, God, get away from here, God. This is my house, And literally, it was an 18-year-old and like a 19-year-old. One was on a mini bike and one was on a go-kart. One of them goes, we want some autographs. I said, get out of here. He said, well, F you then, N-word. And boom, literally. I was so mad, right? They took off on the go-kart in the mini bike. It literally, my head is fuming. I go and jump into my Hummer, right? Charmel's like, baby, no, don't do it, baby, stop. So I'm like, no. I jumped in, I jump, roll out of the gate, right? I go down the street. I look both ways. I couldn't see him, right? And I just said, I'm gonna take a guess and go right. So I went right, went down a little bit, and I saw both of them, okay? And I was like, oh, I got him now. Now the one on the mini bike, it was a little ditch area. He got through that ditch area. The Hummer couldn't get there. The one on the go-kart, he tried to go. I blocked him off. Now, he turns around, and he's in these people's yard. In this yard that this go-kart is in is probably a couple of $1 million house. He starts doing donuts in these people's front yard. Dirt, grass going everywhere. And I know these people were so upset when they came outside that next morning.
What the hell?
So he comes out on the street. He rolls down the street a little bit. I get behind him in the Hummer. I'm on him like this, right? Rolling down the street. So he gets scared. So he goes in some more people's yard and he goes a little ditch. And the chain comes off the go-kart. I commenced to power walk towards him. I said, you better not run. I grab him by the back of the head, takes him to my Hummer, tosses him in. I get in the Hummer and I go, okay, now call me the N-word now. And then he was so scared. And he said, I'm sorry, my friend. Oh, God. I say, okay, I tell you what, you're going to take me to your house right now because I want to talk to your parents and tell them exactly what you said to me, right? So we're literally about no more than 2 blocks away. Before I got him a block towards what we were going to, there was several police cars behind me.
Driver, pull over now!
A brother walking in the neighborhood late. Something could happen. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Talking Davidson Figueiredo, Brandon Moreno, flyweights for the UFC championship. And I tell you, Figueiredo, there again, I said the guys, he seemed to be unstoppable. Moreno had an awesome fight the first time they fought. But the question is, should the champion have to give the challenger, even though it was a really good fight, a great fight, should the champion have to give an immediate rematch to that challenger? And if so, why? That's the question for me. Why would the champion have to give the challenger a rematch if it was a close fight? I'm just trying to figure that out.
It doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me either. When you just look at things from, hey, I just fought this guy, I beat this guy, why do I need to fight this guy again? But we know that the UFC, they typically do stuff like this, right? I mean, they like to just go ahead and throw, if it was a good fight and people want to see it, do it again, right? I mean, didn't they do this with, they did this with Davidson Figueiredo and, who did he fight right before this? Uh, he fought him twice in a row.
Yeah.
Joseph Benavidez.
Joseph Benavidez, yeah.
I don't know if it's just there aren't a whole hell of a lot of people in the flyweight division to where you can continue making new and compelling matchups that are earned and deserved, so that they just go back to the well with ones that I don't know people want to see or that was a good fight before. But I definitely agree with you. I think that if I'm the champion and I just beat Brandon Moreno and you come and say, hey, we want you to fight Brandon Moreno again, I'm gonna say, no, I'm all right. Give me somebody else. I'll fight him if he earns his way back into the spot, but I just beat him for the title. Why should I defend it again?
Well,
Nevertheless,
as well as it was the toughest fight that I've ever had.
yeah.
Why do I want to fight this guy again right now? Give me somebody else. I mean, it's got to be somebody else in the division that I can fight. Now, is it going to be somebody as tough as Brandon Moreno? Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Probably not.
Me as a fighter, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, come on here, bro. I got the championship, but you want me to drop it, for you, not for me. You want me to drop it your way, not my way. That's the way it is with the UFC. And I just felt like Davison Figueiredo, I think he got robbed as far as being champion, just due to he was fighting a guy in Brandon Moreno who was definitely capable of beating him, was capable of beating him in the first fight, but he didn't. And when he did not win that first fight, I just didn't think it was warranted to give the challenger a rematch. Me personally, I don't know, but should there be a rematch clause in the challenger's contract when he's fighting the champion? I'm being real here.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. And I just don't think that's the way the game was meant to be played out. And I'm sure Brandon Moreno was happy as hell. Like, man, I'm getting another shot. I'm going to get ready to get back in the game here. I'm sure he was happy. But to make him actually have to do it, I just thought it was a miscarriage of justice. Yeah. Even though, listening to David Figueiredo, he had no excuses. He said that what beat him more than anything was the weight cut. Cutting that much weight, he says, has been a problem, since day one, trying to make that division. And this time, it was a little bit more than he could take.
It caught up to him. Yeah, I heard him say something similar. If you even looked at his physical presence, right? I mean, his eyes looked a little sunk in. His cheeks looked a little sunk in. He wasn't at his physical peak. And to be a professional athlete of any kind, let alone a man-to-man combat fighter at a world championship level, you have to be your physical best. And that weight cut to people. Now, I know that you disagree with this, but I've always said I think there should be more divisions so that guys can fight closer to their natural weight and they don't have to worry about cutting 20 pounds for a division or going up 30 pounds. But be that as it may, this is kind of the product of a weight cut because Davison Figueiredo went out there and looked very unlike Davison Figueiredo. He went out there and got mauled and dominated by Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno was all over him like white on rice and would not let up on him, was relentless, had all the energy in the world, would scramble with him, and finally got on his back and choked him out. But I thought Brandon Moreno looked, like you said, as great as any flyweight has ever looked in the history of flyweight championship fighting in the UFC. He looked that good in those 3 rounds.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man.
And the first Mexican-born UFC champion. We can't underline that. We always talk about when you have a country.
Brandon Moreno, he was destined to be champion. I think that was the kid's good. But I just felt like Davison Figueiredo got a raw deal as far as how he lost the championship. He defended it. I mean, whoever they put in front of him, he went out there and performed, and he performed at a very high level. Like I say, this kid looked unstoppable, even at that weight class, even having to make those cuts. But I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Cutting weight is a science. It's something that you got to understand, and you got to have a lot of people around you that knows exactly, how to actually get you here and get you here. And finally, at that point of fight night, actually at the weigh-in, you're there, you're on point. Man, that is so hard because immediately after you make weight, you can't wait to start eating. and you're going to gain 10 pounds overnight. You really are.
You gotta
Seriously.
hydrate. Yeah.
So to be able to do that, it's a science behind it, and it definitely, like you say, caught up with David Figueiredo in this fight with Brandon Moreno, new flyweight champ in the UFC, Brandon Moreno. And I tell you, man, Mexico, I'm sure is on fire, man. I'm sure this kid got have a parade and everything, man, a street named after him. He's probably gonna get a day like you and I and everything, So
Yeah. Well, I mean, but we talk about it forever, how big it is to have a country behind you, let alone the country of Mexico, which, on its own is an incredible, country with an incredible group of people who live there. But there is no one country, I think, in the history of fighting 10, 15, 20 years supported their own fighters stronger than the Mexican people, right? I mean, Mexicans
been longer than
have
that,
kept,
though. It's been longer than that.
I mean, yeah, 50 years.
Yeah.
I mean, they've kept the sport of boxing alive because they come out and they see Canelo Alvarez, they see everybody. Definitely, it's incredible.
Definitely. Hey man, in the Hall of Fame, we got a whole lot more. We got a little bit more for you. We got to talk about the middleweight extravaganza, the spectacle between Israel Adesanya and Marvin Vettori. What a fight! What a night! Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
And your question for the win. In The Insider, Al Pacino's character works on which TV show?
Is it 60 Minutes?
And your winner!
The Movie Trivia Schmodown, the most competitive movie trivia league in the world.
It's MMA or boxing. It's like you want to see the two best scrapping it out.
Vincent D'Onofrio. 2 points. Movie release date.
Wow. Danny DeVito.
That's correct.
You mother! The rising sun! And your winner!
Championships, factions, the best in the world play here.
I'm ready to schmo down. Throw down with the schmo down.
Kevin! Good enough! Smith!
This is why we play the schmo down.
The professional sports league of movie trivia. This isn't bar trivia. This is the Movie Trivia Schmodown.
Sure. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. I think I saw we had a couple of super chats. Did I see that, Brad?
Let me look real quick. Oh yes, we do. We have 2.
Hey man, before you read it off, I was looking at some boxing. Actually, I was looking at the UFC. Actually, I was like listening to it on YouTube, and I don't know whose side it was, and I'm going to give them credit. I just don't want to try to do something without giving somebody credit. But I was watching them, and they were just doing it like we are right now, live. They had a lot of super chats coming in, but every time a super chat came in, it was this voice would come over, and it would go, "Super chat." We need to get something like that, man.
We'll figure that out.
We need to figure that out, man. And it was just like so cool, man. I was like, man, I think we need to steal that.
I like that idea. I'll look into it. I'll figure out how we do it. I'll figure out how we do it. So let's see what we got here. This is from
Super Chat.
This is from Josh and Jesus. Plot twist. Booker T paid off McMahon to fire Braun so he could have one more run at the title without having to face the monster amongst men.
It sounds good, doesn't it?
It sounds
good. I'm serious, man. I tell you, if I could have one last run as the world champion without having to wrestle anybody, I'd take it.
It sounds like good work if you can get it.
I'm serious. If I could do that without actually having to get in the ring and bruise up these old bones, I'd actually do it, man. But I tell you, I look fairly decent, man. I'm in pretty good shape right now. But I tell you, man, if I was to get in the ring right now and take a bump, I would be bruised. I ate some Popeye's chicken 2 days ago, and I almost couldn't get out of bed for 2 days. So what do you think a bump would do to
It'd kill you.
It'd kill me.
It'd kill you. Let's see. This is from Brian V with $5. Hi, Booker T. I host a show called the WSE Lounge. I wanted to know if you would be an interview on Instagram Live. I've interviewed many wrestlers before. So Brian V shooting your shot here. Why don't you hit us up on Twitter? Hit us up on Twitter. We can talk.
Hit us up on Twitter in the DMs, man. You know how they do it.
In the DM, it go down in the DM.
Yeah.
RDAB, hit it for us, book. What is it?
Super chat.
There we go. RDAB says, I know Ron Simmons was the first black WCW champion, and Rock was the first black WWE champ. Buddy Rogers was the first white WWE champ. Who was the first Mexican WCW champ and the first Mexican WWE champ? I think Pedro Morales was the WWE champion at one point. I think he was Mexican. I'll look that up.
No, he's Puerto Rican.
He was Puerto Rican?
Yeah.
Well, then it would have been Eddie?
It'd probably be Eddie, yeah. Eddie in the WWE, I think he would be the first Mexican champion in the WWE. Tito Santana, he didn't win the heavyweight championship. I think he won the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any other prominent.
Was there anybody from WCW?
In WCW? I don't know. Did Rey Mysterio? No, did Rey Mysterio win the WCW title?
Not in WCW, I don't think.
No. I don't know. I don't know if there were ever any Mexican champions in WCW or WWE, other than Eddie Guerrero.
I think Eddie and Ray. Eddie and Ray are the only ones, unless we're forgetting. I'm looking through all the names right now, unless we're forgetting somebody. Alberto Del Rio.
Alberto Del Rio, yeah.
Alberto, and I think that might be all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. Just those three. So, good question. I've never thought about that before.
I never thought about it either, man. Maybe take some of the heat off the brothers. I'm serious, man. I mean, we can't get a breath in without somebody. I mean, why hasn't there been? I'm like, I don't know. It ain't my thing, But I don't know. For me, I was honored to be the second behind Ron Simmons, and definitely I knew I had big shoes to fill coming behind Ron Simmons. So yeah, maybe we'll see somebody come along in the future. I know for myself at Reality Wrestling, I was looking for a Mexican champion for a long time, and I had to create my own Mexican champion. And I found him when he was 16 years old. His name is Gino Medina. Right now, he's a big star in MLW. And he's doing big things right now. And he was the Reality Wrestling champion, and he did a hell of a job. So there are a lot of good Mexican wrestlers out there. Maybe the next one will be Gino Medina.
Yeah, I would love that. I'd love that for Gino. Hey, so we got to talk about the middleweight championship fight, Israel Adesanya, Marvin Vettori. Israel kind of went out there and reclaimed his throne. Oh, he never lost it. I mean, he went up in weight. It wasn't successful for him against Jan Blachowicz.
You know what? I think it was successful, though. I think.
Well, he didn't win the title.
Even in a loss, I still think he won in so many different ways, because just think about this. Marvin Vettori going up and fighting Jan Blachowicz. What do you think would have happened?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been a good night for
Whitaker going up and fighting Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been great for Whitaker.
And that's the way I look at it, from a perspective that it was a win for Israel Adesanya against Blachowicz, because he didn't get knocked out. He didn't even get close to being knocked out. He put up a relatively good fight, but he was just fighting a man who was just so much bigger than he was, and a guy that, a lot of people from the outside looking in, they can't understand the technique of Blachowicz, but the guy didn't slip on a banana peel and become the champion.
No, absolutely not. But Izzy going out there and just dominating the fight really from beginning to end. Marvin Vettori he got an early takedown there. At one point, I think he even got on his back. I mean, he had a couple of good moments, but nothing that obviously would have gotten him the victory. Izzy pretty much coasted there, and even at the end, as Marvin Vettori was hitting him, with these big shots in the rib. Well, not big shots. He was hitting him in the ribs and the side. Izzy was openly mocking him, saying there was nothing on them, and coasted his way to victory. I think that this sets up him and Robert Whitaker next. It seems like the next likely matchup between the two of them. What did you think overall of the fight and of what's in store for Izzy?
No, I thought it was a wash.
Yeah.
I thought he went out and pretty much did what he needed to do. He didn't get Vettori out of that because Vettori is a tough guy.
Super tough. He no-sold those leg kicks, which is insane.
I mean, he's a tough guy. I mean, he's like a cyborg. when he's out there doing his work, and against anybody else other than Israel Adesanya, he probably would have won. So the guy actually knows what he's doing, but Israel Adesanya he's next level. He's extraordinary. He is just that good, and he displayed it with Vittori there. So my thing is Whitaker going to do any better against Israel Adesanya, the reigning and defending UFC middleweight champion of the world, as Paul Heyman would say? I don't think he's going to do any better at all. Just Israel Adesanya, his style, his technique, his balance, everything seems to be clicking. But the thing is, can he be beat? Of course he can.
Well, we know he can. I mean, we've seen it happen. But congrats to Izzy. I think it was a great win for him, and he went out there and looked like he almost coasted through. He almost looked like he was on another level than Vittori, and he was. So congrats to him. Couple quick things though before we wrap everything up. One super chat from Booker's Glasses.
Super chat.
This is from Booker's Glasses, and it just says, "We be shining."
You know what? I gotta get this glass. I got my light here. I gotta fix it, man. Keep my glasses, man. I gotta wear my glasses because I can't see nothing.
So
I can't see without them. I can't see nothing. I'm serious. I mean, I used to have a little complex by putting them on, but now I ain't got no choice.
You have no choice. Clarissa Shields victorious in her MMA debut.
She had a rough outing, though.
She had a rough outing, almost got tapped out there, almost got finished on the ground, but she was able to come back, bounce back. Those championship instincts kicked in. She got her first victory, so I thought that was pretty good. What'd you think about Clarissa Shields?
No, I mean, she showed her toughness more than anything. The girl that she was fighting was the best judo practitioner in the company.
Yeah.
Okay. So it almost was a test. It almost was like, okay, you want to come over here? Okay, we're gonna show you what this thing is really all about. And it actually worked for a minute there. But Clarissa Shields, man, she got a lot of beast in her, man, and she fought through it. And at the end of the day, those hands, man, she let them hands fly, and them Fifth Ward beads, they just start stinging. And the referee had to do his job. He had to have a wherewithal, understanding, and know how to step in and just stop it. And Clarissa Shields, she's off and running. She's already calling out the UFC champ. She's already calling out, let's do this. Let's do it. Let's do it now.
Some people might say walk before you can run, but whatever. What the hell? You only got one shot at it.
Yeah.
Also, did you hear that Anderson Silva's fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.?
Man, you know what, man? That's a fight that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. can win.
You like to fight for him.
I like to fight for him because that brother, he definitely ain't like the old man. It seems like they cut from the same cloth. The old apple fell very far from the tree on that one right there. But no, man, I didn't know that. But hopefully it'll be on YouTube, and I'll be able to see that one as well. But right now, man, we got to get up out of here. It's been great. We've had a hell of a time. We'll be back, same place, same time on Wednesday. Thank you, guys. Bradley, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Thanks for getting that little technical difficulty worked out. What was you had your fan on? Yeah.
No, I figured it out. I'll tell you later.
Stick around. We'll be 7, but we're out of here. We'll see y'all next time.